we haven't met face to face, I don't think, but the whole 6 degrees of separation thing, like, so I first started hearing about you guys and kind of like been fans of afar, you and Jermaine, because through Moses
Yeah.
David. Yeah, so I was doing music and then Moses was doing music and he's still doing his thing now, but
Yeah.
I would always like kind of see Jermaine doing his thing through, by the connection to Moses, and then, through the connection with Jermaine, I'd see you doing your thing. And I'm like, man, like it's dope, like how couple connections there. Like I see other people doing creative things, and he's doing his thing with the music and stuff, and then you were doing branding and marketing and stuff. And I'm like, for a while, I reshare everything. I see people doing their thing, and I'm like, I always reshare it because that's free. And it's like a lot of times it's like the greatest support you can give is a quick
Oh yeah.
reshare. Especially if you're not ready to do business, just like then share it. That costs nothing. That's free. That's
Mhm.
free marketing and stuff like that. So I wanted to talk with you just about your journey and kind of not do's and don'ts. Well, maybe do's and don'ts, but just like some of the stumbles you might have had and some of the success you might have had. You just recently got into your own office. Is this the first time you have your own space?
Yes.
Yeah. So what's that been like?
uh Mentally it's been amazing.
Hmm.
Because I've been doing my business since 2015. But I've been doing it more so like a hobby, or like a part-time gig. But I finally went full-time last year. So was working from home, especially with the pandemic. Then I had the kids virtual learning, crazy, crazy, crazy. But
Right.
just moving into my office, it's just been mentally better. I'm able to concentrate more, get things done, knocked out more. I'm actually like collaborating with different people here already, and it's like the second day.
Hmm.
So I love, like, I recommend getting an office for anybody, any entrepreneur, if you can have it in your budget. So it's been mind blowing already, and it's only been the second day.
So what were you doing from home and what are you doing now at the office? Like what's your business overall?
So I'll still be doing the same things. So it'll be still be doing website design, graphic design, social media marketing. And then with me having my office, I can do in-person consultations and brainstorming sessions where people can actually come in. We take like an hour or two and we just talk about their business, different ideas we can do, digital products we can do. So just mapping out a plan for them. So I'm glad I'm able to, actually do that, bring it in person, because I'm not going to invite you into my house.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
you like that.
yeah.
And then even here, working here, they have like a big conference room. So if I do like a workshop or something, that's free because it's included in the membership. So I can easily do that. So it's just a lot of opportunities that I can see happening here. And a lot of things that I want to do is like youth has been on my heart. So maybe doing a workshop, free workshop where they just come in. We just talk about entrepreneurship, the pros and cons of it. So yeah, just definitely endless possibilities here.
That's where my heart's been at too recently. Well, not recently, but the focus has been more recent in terms of just being intentional with the time now, because I've
Yeah.
always wanted the business to me was never about so much the money, especially since years ago I got fired from a job, and that really taught me like a process. God teaching me like you don't rely on money. Money comes
Yeah.
and goes. This could be taken away from you immediately. So
For sure.
stop focusing on the money itself. And that really changed my mindset. Like 10 years ago that happened, and it really changed my mindset a lot to focus more on opportunities and building and stuff like that, and learning from that your strength doesn't come from the money you have in the account. It's your relationship with God that I found.
For sure.
So I've been more intentional with my time and reaching out, and through Black Brand right now has kind of been like the main partner for like
Mhm.
community outreach and stuff like that with B Force, and I saw you're participating in that as well. But to me it's been really important to kind of share that information, share, mentorship opportunities for me to be mentored and for me to mentor others if I have that opportunity. What have you been doing with Black Brand specifically? Like, did you go through the program as like a student, or you're a consultant now? Like, what are you doing with B Force?
Right now, I wish I would have known about them. I just actually heard about them this year.
Okay.
I wish I could have went as a student, but I'm a consultant. There's like a consultant that works with the clients one on one every week. I'm more so like if they're needing branding,
Mm-hmm.
if they're needing websites, stuff like that, they'll come to me and they'll consult with me. And actually, I talked with somebody for the first time yesterday. He came in. So it's pretty cool. He just graduated from college. So being able to, talk to somebody that's younger than me and, instilling like what I've learned, the pros and cons has been amazing. And then of course he was like a Norfolk State graduate and I graduated from Norfolk State. So that was a plus.
Yeah.
So I just love being able to talk with just people younger than me. And then also like me trying to hire somebody, like I really want to hire somebody that's in high school or college. Just it's like you said, it's more than just money. Like, of course, you're here to help me in my business, but I'm here to mentor you. I'm here to encourage you. It's not going to be just about business. Like, I'm gonna hold you accountable, like in personal life as well. So, yeah, for sure.
Have you always tried to work for yourself, or were you doing other things beforehand?
I've always had I guess the entrepreneur spirit because my dad was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
He had his own painting company. My sister has her own business. Pretty much my whole family has their own business, so it's always been a part of me. So like beforehand, I would I did branding and stuff for Chick-fil-A. I did that for a couple months.
Okay.
And then before that, I was like a resident for a church that I was attending. So working with the middle school students, being able to come up with different programs and holding them accountable. So my heart has always been youth, whether it was in church or the community. So yeah, I've always I worked with Nigel with Renaissance Music for some years with their marketing, and just I love doing it. I love artists, working with artists. So I'm always just helping somebody like in different industries, honestly. So yeah, working for myself has always been a part of me. But this is like the first time where it's just like it's full time. This is you
Right.
got to make this money, but still, make a difference.
Then I'm always interested in why people do it because I've heard the blunt answers. Recently I had a conversation with a person and they said straight up, just like, I'm in it for the money. And I wasn't mad at that. I'm like, I get it. This is why businesses begin to, for real. Like if you look at the Webster's dictionary of what's the purpose of business, they tell you that, like flat out, the purpose of business is to maximize profits. That's just flat out the way it is. But I'm always interested in hearing, why other people are in business as well. Because for me, like I said, it was never about money. It's more about the opportunity. And this year I really wanted to kind of be intentional with not being so, I don't know if selfish is a word, but it might be to an extent selfish, untrusting, and just opening doors to just working with other people in terms of just, hey, I can't do everything. I don't want to do everything anyway. I want to be very good at a couple different things, and I want to have some exposure to others. Like my passion is music and video. And I dabbled in college a little bit in website design and stuff like that, but that's not my primary focus. I want to like put that off to other people that love doing that. And that's always been like my passion, and I'm always excited about that opportunity. Like to me, success is going to be when I'm able to have a couple people like on call that can handle like, all right, I don't love doing this. I'm just interested in this, but you love it. You take care of this while I go take care of the video side of it or the photography side of it. And then present like packages to people like, hey, this can all be happening within a couple people that are passionate about this. You don't have to necessarily bounce around everywhere and see people from out of the area and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's always been what I'm excited about.
Yeah, and I think like it's of course you want to be in it for the money, like you want to maximize, you want to have money, especially if you have a family, you want to provide. Like that is my focus in being able to, have funds or whatever to live free and, provide that generational wealth for my 3 girls. But that is not my I guess my main focus. Like I'm more so like I have a plan of how much I can bring in income, but it's more so like building relationships. I've built so many relationships with women in the past year. And like one of my mentors is Q. Like she has been she's always supported me since day one, like years and years ago. And I look at flyers that I did for her and I'm like, ugh, like cringe. Cause that was like 6-7 years ago.
Right.
But it's like she truly believes in me and she gives me clientele, like after clientele. So like I do free stuff for her, like, and it just all about building relationships. And I think in a business, like you want to have that focus of, how can I make money, but it's not also about that. Like you want to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like my target audience are mompreneurs. So I've been on calls where literally they're crying, and I'm able to pray for them. I'm able to encourage them,
That's great.
whether they become a client or not. Like that's my heart. So being able to do that, but also like I think me having that heart, God just always provides. Like I don't really do. I mean, I advertise and stuff like that, but a lot of my clients are from word of mouth. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that's just God because He knows my heart. He knows what I want to do. So He's like, all right, I'm going to provide. So it's like I don't have like this focus of, oh my gosh, I gotta have this money. I gotta get it. Like grind 24/7. Like that's not me. And I don't want to be that way. What God just constantly provides because of my heart and being able to just give to people. And I think that's the most successful business owner, to be honest, not just about the money, but also about the opportunity and being able to make a difference.
For sure. I had a person reach out to me and ask if I could give like some notes and talking points about how to open doors in business and stuff like that. And I told him, I said, I can't tell you how to open doors. So I could tell you that God opens doors. I could tell you to
Facts.
pray. I could tell you how to get ready. I could tell you
Mhm.
that there's certain things in business you should be doing and how to behave and how to conduct yourself and whatnot. But as far as how to open doors, I don't know. I've got a ton
Yeah.
of business that me personally, I think I don't deserve. I don't think there's anything in my resume, in my background, in my history, my family history that says you should have a contract with so and so. I don't
Mhm.
believe that, and I've been kind of a broken record on that recently because I think it's really important to tell people. I, in my experience, I don't know how it works for anybody else, but in my experience, I don't know how to go open a door. I don't know how to do that. I don't. I know how to do good work. I know how to show up on time. I know how to give my best. I know how to treat people well and
Mhm.
communicate effectively. Um, but and I get it. That's a question that a lot of business owners have, right? Like, especially when you're starting a business, the big question is, how am I going to get clients? Like, how am I going to do that? And I'm like, market yourself, do your best work you can, and just be ready. Be ready. So when somebody knocks on your door, you're able to have the right answers. You're able to, identify what they need. I've been learning more and more too. Ask more questions. When I first started business, I used to think, on the video side, I came up with all these talking points and said, I'm gonna pitch on how we got 4K quality. The video is gonna look amazing. You're gonna get it very fast and stuff like that. And then I realized, no, have a better conversation with what does the person actually need? What are they passionate about? What does their end user actually need? Not what, sometimes it's like you sit in front of a person and you say, what do you want? But it's more like, what does your customer want?
Yeah.
The people you've identified that you want to go after, what do they want? How do they consume content? Because we have to reverse engineer really the end user. And a lot of times the end user is not the person that you or I might speak to. That's the
Mhm.
business owner, stuff like that, the business manager. But who do you really want to reach? And I've been learning to kind of be more effective and intentional with that stuff as well.
Yeah.
You said something that kind of made me smile because you said your first flyers and stuff like that, like you look back and they're cringy. And
Oh
I
my gosh.
I like to hear that because it speaks to me about the fact that not everybody is put in the position immediately of like excellence is a process. You're not going
Yeah,
to do
for
your
sure.
best work day one. And I feel the same way. I look back at some of the music I've made, some of the graphic design I've made in videos, and I look back and I'm like, it's terrible. It's sometimes it's stuff like, not too far ago. I'm like, man, I really would have done that differently today
Yeah.
already. But so I mean, are you kind of self-taught? Did you go down the YouTube rabbit hole and stuff? Like, how did you kind of learn the stuff, your tools you have now?
Yeah, so I graduated from Norfolk State and I did like coding, but it wasn't like more in depth. So I learned a lot of stuff about computers as a graduate there. But I was more so like self-taught. Like if I want to do something, I just found out how to do it. YouTube, I've taken like trainings and classes. And even with website design, I, started out doing like Squarespace and Wix. And then I kept having clients like, do you do WordPress? I'm like, no, I don't. Like literally, I kept getting clients. I was like, crap, I need to learn this.
Yeah.
So I just trial and learn like YouTube. I, downloaded some templates. I just learned myself, like taught myself and a lot of the stuff. And just even in the industry that I'm in, like you have to stay up with the trends. Something's
Hmm.
always new. So being able to, I'm always teaching myself. I'm always learning, taking classes. And I've learned a lot just in itself with just classes and YouTube. Like that's
Right.
free. But some of the trainings are paid, but it's like it's worth it because as an entrepreneur, you want to continue to grow. you're always going to grow. You're not going to know it like, all right, I got it down pat. No, it's going to be something new the next day. So just being able to keep up with that, especially like if I'm doing social media management, like it's always something different with the analytics and YouTube and Instagram and all of that. So having to learn that, like it's always, and I love to learn. So being able to learn the new trends and things like that is just amazing.
What are some of the things you find it like? Because you said social media management. What are some of the things that people are commonly messing up on social media?
I would just say, and I was too, like they would just say like their business, they'll post a flyer and they'll do like book me. Like it'll just be one or two sentences. And I've done it before too.
Mhm.
But it's just like, no, you have to like what I'm learning, still learning is like telling a story. You want to engage with your like my target audience is mompreneur. So I'm talking about like me having to cook and then still doing my business, like making it more relatable, and saying like I go through the same things that you go through.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, a lot of people want to work with me because of that they can relate. So me just telling a story is what gets you clients. And I think a lot of people, they need to do that. They need to take that into account. But a lot of times they're like, I'm so busy. I got to post this, boom, that's it. And like, they don't get any clients. And I'm like, that's why you have to relate to your clientele. And they want to know that, look, oh man, we go through the same thing. And so I do that. And then I be like, okay, we go through the same thing. This is what I do to get better. This is why you need to hire me so you can have more time with your family.
Mhm.
So I think just being able to tell a story, a lot of people miss that when they do social media.
Right. And I think I agree. And the frequency of it too, it's like a lot of times I tell people, don't forget that the active word in social media is social. Don't think you're gonna maximize on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all this stuff by posting once a week, once a month.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's what you see once a month. And it's like, think about it. I tell people that are in business, how would you feel if you went on Amazon's webpage and the last time they posted was 6 months ago? You're immediately gonna have no faith in that company at all. You're gonna think they're going out of business. You got to kind of like apply the same way you think as a consumer to your own business. You
Yeah.
want to see people actively commenting on your page. You want to see new material. Um, and I tell businesses all the time, it's like, don't be afraid to inject your personality in there and talk about
Oh, for
your own
sure.
personal life. You should have a combination of it. You should have some lifestyle stuff and you should have your products and services, a good balance of it.
Hmm.
I don't know, like, what percentage it should be or whatever, but you should have, a decent balance of a little bit of, don't beat them over the head all the time about ads, ads, ads. Every now and then, tell them about your favorite football team. Tell them what you got going on over the weekend. People like that stuff.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
we went to a meeting yesterday. It was a networking event. And I gotta share I'm gonna share the information like that with you in the future, just because when I was at that meeting, I'm like, I thought about, we talked about this podcast, and I'm like, this would have been a good one for Nicole to be at, just networking with creatives and stuff about new opportunities in the area.
Yeah.
Um, and the person that was leading it was like dressed to the nines, like executive out, and we were in this huge executive boardroom type of thing. And she says, I appreciate how everybody came dressed. And it was people dressed like, I went like in a sweater and some jeans and stuff. And then other people were like more like kind of like how I am now, like jean jacket and hoodies and stuff. And she
Hmm.
was like, I love working with people that just come as they are. She was like, I care more about how you treat me in business, but I also care about the trust level. I care about, seeing who you are for real. And
Yeah.
then I was thinking about in business, it's like, yeah, like we already know, there's certain opportunities where you got to go dress a certain way and you got to speak a certain way. But I don't need to turn on the proper voice and try to hide my accent or nothing like that either.
Yeah.
Um, I can articulate myself well enough for you to know I understand what we're talking about right now, and I have a certain service and a skill level that I can, handle whatever project you have in front of me. I don't need to necessarily dress completely out of character. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't need to go look at the European model of dress and stuff like that for every single thing. It's like, nah, because it's always like, yeah, I get it. I'm not gonna go into a courtroom a certain way, and I'm not gonna go into a boardroom a certain way. But at the same time, I'm a hip hop guy. I grew up in the era of Rockefeller and stuff like that, where these guys went in boardrooms at Def Jam, dressed however they were.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like to a certain extent, that was part of my dream as well. It's like I want to work with people that are not saying, "Oh, he doesn't have a tie on today, so I'm not going to take him serious." It's
Mm.
like if you don't take me serious with the tie or without the tie, then I don't need to work with you. Like
Yeah.
I want people that understand the skill set and respect me as a person, not what I have on my back.
Yeah.
But
I totally get that.
yeah, no, those are opportunities that those networking opportunities are great, and Black Brand has a lot of them. Aside from B Force, what have you been doing with Black Brand? Like, are you just through B Force, or have you joined Black Brand and you're like a member and stuff?
No, I'm not a member.
Okay.
Still seeing if I want to be a member now, but I'm just really just doing the B Force. And that just started like literally like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So not really doing in-depth stuff with them as of yet. Definitely feel like it's a partnership there. And even where I have my facility, my office space is Bloom Co-working. So it's a whole bunch of entrepreneurs here. So there's always networking.
Mhm.
Here they have networking events as well. So yeah, I'm not really a part or a member of anything right now. I'm just like with myself. I'm trying to do more of networking because I'm like the person that's in the background, whatever.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to network more, talk to people more.
Yeah.
So yeah, so whatever opportunity, present itself, I'm definitely there. If it's like something I feel like is good. Like I'm not the type of person to just go to everything. Well, I gotta go. This is like that's just too much for me. Like I just
Mhm.
like, all right, okay, this definitely is like a good opportunity. I'm using discernment of like, okay, yeah, I definitely need to go to this. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, I recommend it. We joined this year. There's not a paid advertisement or nothing. I just really appreciate them, and I tell everybody that you really consider joining. And I joined the Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And if you would have asked me like 2 years ago if you should join the chamber, I'd tell you it's a waste of time.
Mm,
Before I joined, I'd be like, I don't get it. I do what I'm gonna pay to go to sit in rooms with people that I don't even know, and
yeah.
but you know what? Those rooms actually, you come across people just like yourself. I came
Hmm.
across people just like myself. I'm a real introverted person, and I still go into those rooms, kind of, put the smile on and kind of read the room and see what's going on. And
Hmm.
there's still been opportunities. Like I'll
Yeah.
tell you this way, that the memberships on both chambers have paid for themselves over and over. It's been an awesome investment, and I get to meet great people, creative people on the same journey and path. Like the other day, I overheard somebody saying, taxes. They were talking about, I fill out my taxes every year. I have no idea if I'm doing it right. And I laughed and I'm like, ain't that the truth? Like when you starting out in business, it's like that's one of the things that's like real daunting. It's like, am I even filling this out right? Or am I even finding the right accountant? Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Like,
Yes.
what am I supposed to be writing off and stuff? Like, we didn't even, it was funny, like complete transparency. We were doing everything on like Excel spreadsheets up until recently. And there's nothing wrong with it. It worked for us for the longest. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people do it the same way. It's like you just grab your bank statement and plus minus this and I'm a little
Hmm.
notes of what I spent it on. Um, but recently we did the whole QuickBooks thing, and that's been like that felt like I leveled up for real. I felt like I was a CEO. I'm like, oh, I got
Yeah.
QuickBooks now. Like,
Eliminate so much stuff. Yep.
yeah, you pull up little reports here. Like, I'm like I could easily see what was spent on rent and stuff like that. Like, we got a commercial office space, and it's like it's awesome. So it's like little things like that. Like, and it gives you a confidence boost as well. It's kind of like, all right, I don't have to worry about that because I'm the type of person too where I tell people I work hard because I'm lazy. And what I mean by that is I don't want to do things 2 and 3 times. So it's
Oh
like
yeah.
I know how important it is for me to get the video game time and the family time and the music time and just the time to
Mhm.
do nothing. Like I want my time to just sit back in front of the TV and fall asleep on the couch. Like that's important to me. And if I don't get this stuff done right the first time, I'm gonna end up doing it 2 or 3 times, and I'm just not gonna be able to do the things I really enjoy. So I genuinely feel like I'm a lazy person at heart, but I got to get this done fast, and that's why I work fast. Like when I worked 9 to 5s before in the office, I would walk past people's offices and they're sitting there drinking coffee and stuff like that. Like throughout the whole day, they're doing the coffee thing and how was your day and how was the football game and stuff. And then like at around 4 o'clock, they're stressed out trying to get their work done. And they're looking at me like I'm kicked back. I'm like, while y'all were talking about football and drinking coffee, I was knocking out my work real quick, like
Fast.
knocking it out fast. And then I got my feet kicked up watching you guys sweat. It's like I'm out. I'm out right as soon as it's time to go. I'm out. I'm not worried about this stuff.
Yeah, I was like that too. I was just like, I just wanted to get my work done. Like I would literally be done before lunch every time.
Mhm. Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, I gotta meet this deadline or whatever like that. And I'm just like you, I'm just relaxing, looking
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
y'all, should have used your time more wisely.
Yeah. 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 No. And that's the thing. So how are you? How many kids you got?
Three girls, all
And
emotions, crying.
yeah, what ages
Crying.
are they?
What you
What
say?
what ages?
5, 7, and 10.
Oh, okay. I got 15, 6, and 1.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, no, I got every.
Yes.
I'm always have one in high school, in middle school, and elementary school. Like I'm a. I used to joke around and say I'm gonna keep going till I get the baseball team. To me, yeah. To me, kids are amazing. I have a blast with that. That's been one of the greatest blessings ever. Like as a kid, I always thought having kids would be cool, but I didn't know how cool it would be for real until like I
Right.
had a kid. Like this is the greatest.
Yes.
I tell people all the time, like, yeah, kids is not for everybody, but I'm like, have a kid. It's the dopest thing ever. Like
It
it's
really is, and it brings out the kid in you,
mm,
like, you wanna be serious all the time, and they were like, "No, mom, come do this with me," whatever, and I'm just like, the other day, I'm, trying to be more intentional of doing stuff that they do, and they love Just Dance, so I just dancing with them, and my little one, 5-year-old, she's just looking at me the whole time, just excited that I was just taking the time just to dance with her. I'm like, kids just want attention. And they definitely open your eyes to just life in general. So I love having kids and I love being able to like instill the values that was instilled in me, and even the things that I didn't have, they can have. And then especially because my whole family has just been an entrepreneur. But a lot of times it's just been like them just getting by. And I'm like, look, I'm not just going to just get by. Like I'm going to have, I want to have multiple businesses. I want to, spread generational wealth for them. So when they're older, they already have a plan set in place and they already just brainstorming of what they want to do now. And their heart is just like homeless. They just keep talking about that.
hmm.
So I started a nonprofit last year, but God told me to pause on it. He was like, just concentrate on one thing at a time. So now that, my business, Creative Beta, is doing pretty well, like I can be able to concentrate on a nonprofit and be able to do what they want to do at a young age. Because I'm like, you don't have to wait until you're older. You
Mhm,
can do it
mm.
now. Like there's so many kids entrepreneurs right now. So being able to just, instill that into them, like that's just an amazing in itself.
That's been huge too for me in my house. I'm like, I told these kids, I don't force anybody to have a plan in terms of college. I don't say you have to go
Yep.
to college. I
Same.
don't do that. College is cool if that's what you want to do. But with my oldest daughter, she was talking about college, and I said, I don't want you to take this as I'm telling you no or yes. I just want you to have things to consider. What do you want to do with your life? Like what career path do you want? What are you passionate about? Like,
Yeah.
don't focus on college because that's what I'm supposed to do. And I feel like high schools fail our kids in that respect, where it's already pre-programmed. Like, all right, you're in ninth grade, start applying for
Yep.
scholarships, start looking for what college you want to go to and where you want to get accepted. And it's like a lot of times the school system is set up in a way where it's like there's no mentorship almost. Like, well, I
Mhm.
don't want to put down teachers and stuff like that, but there's a
No,
there's a
I get what you're
disconnect.
saying.
There's a disconnect in are you listening to the kids and what they're really passionate about, or is it just a canned response of okay at this certain age and they just need to be applying for college whether they know what they want to do or not? Like go
Yeah.
do general studies, or back when I was younger it was like just go do IT because that's where the most money is being made right now. Let's just go
Mhm.
study something with computers. It's like did you talk to the kid about what they really love, what they're passionate about? Because
That's
what
the
I
key. That's the key right there. What are they passionate about? And that's
right.
something that I'm instilling with my kids as well. Just what do you want to do? What do you see yourself being able to do years and years and being able to make a difference? It's not just about the money. And I'm like you, like me and Jermaine, we're just like, you don't have to go to college. Like I went to college, he didn't go to college, but he went to like trade school. Like if you want to do trade school, if you want to learn stuff to YouTube, whatever the case may be, like we have to direct them in that way. Like it's so much pressure as, being in college. Like I don't regret it. I love going to college or whatever. I do feel like at least my oldest probably would want to go. But it's just like it's not like you have to go,
Right.
it's just like, what are you truly passionate about? What is your heart? So because I don't want them to wake up, everyone like, oh, I gotta go to work. No, I want them to wake up, but like, oh man, I get to go to work,
Yeah. Yeah, no, and the awesome thing about growing up in the era we're growing up in is that really anything is possible. Like it truly is. It's not like back in the day where it's like the most you could aspire to is to be a supervisor because it's the barrier of entry to go start your own business was just so far. Like it's like it was a really daunting thing. It's like if you don't come from a certain line of generational wealth,
Yep.
business ownership was not for you. At least it felt that way. And
Hmm.
now it's like you can go direct to consumer with most businesses. Now it's up to your own individual drive to go get the information and network with the right people, to have the right people behind you, kind of motivating you and not critiquing every single thing negatively.
Yep.
That's one of the mistakes I think that I made when I was coming
Mhm.
up, like fresh out of high school. The drive was more, what can I do to impress my friends? And
Mhm.
then, now as a parent, you know, 15 years from that mindset, now as a parent, I tell my kids, I need you to realize something. In school, I had a blast and I was, relatively popular and had friends around and stuff like that. 99% of those people, I don't know where they are today. And I say that to say to bring context to what you care about today. I'm not saying don't care about your friends around you, but just
Yeah.
understand that don't make life decisions based on these people that are going to be temporary.
Yeah.
These people in your life are truly a season. I'm like, I tell my daughter now, I'm like, the day after you graduate, you are immediately going to lose contact forever with most of the people that you thought that meant your world. For the
Yeah.
last 4 years of your life, and if you knew them in middle school, this is my best friend, I'm going to know them forever. You're not. You're
I
really
remember
not.
that stage.
Yeah, no, it's like I literally have maybe three friends that I know. I have like two that I know since middle school, one since high school, and the rest have been people I've learned met through church and stuff like that, and through work and stuff. But these childhood relationships, they go away. Life takes us different directions, and that's why I find it's important to instill in the kids. I just try to stay focused, and I try to make sure I'm not too hard on them, because you got to
Mhm.
let a kid be a kid at the same time too. Let them make the mistakes that they're gonna have to make. A lot of the stuff I didn't learn until I made the mistake myself. My parents were telling me the same thing I'm telling them, but I still ended up making mistakes. And I constantly encourage parents. Um, it's interesting. Like a couple of years ago in church, they asked me to speak, and I spoke to the parents for a second because they wanted me to bring a message to the youth. And I spent more time talking to the parents. And I
Mhm.
told him, I said, I imagine every parent in this room wants their kids to be greater than them. They want them to do more. They want them to do things that they couldn't do themselves. And I told the parents, I said, if that's the case, then you need to be willing to accept that they're going to do things that terrify you. They're going to do things that you would have never done, because
Mhm.
it's a constant cliche to tell your kid, I would have never done that when I was your age. It's like, that's right. You need to see them do things that you would never have done. That way they have a different outcome. Because if they're going to live by your blueprint, they're going to end up exactly where you are. And I don't think any parent wants that. I don't want my kids to just achieve what I've achieved. They need to surpass me, and
Oh,
their
for
kids got
sure.
to surpass them. So it's like, let your kids make mistakes and let them do things that you would have never done. And every now and then as a parent, let them kind of go against some of your advice. It's like you don't have the answer for everything. I learned that too. It's like, I'm not going to have the exact step by step of what you need to do. I don't have it for my own life. So I can kind of guide and say, be careful. That's like the
Mhm.
old thing about don't put your finger in the electric socket. Like, I could tell you don't do that. Some kids need to learn themselves and get shocked.
Mhm.
But as a parent, me personally, it's like there have been times where I kind of been a little hard on my kids, because that's just how we were raised. I come from the generation of, getting hit and stuff like that. It's like,
Mhm.
I get it. It was the immediate compliance, like you better do this right now the way I said. But at
Yeah.
the same time, it's like I'm trying to learn, like, let them fall a little bit, let them slip, and just be there, when they're ready to kind of like almost like prodigal son with it. Like when
Mhm.
you're ready to come back, I just had the door open. I got my arms open. That's
Yep.
that's my job more than everything. Like let them make the mistakes. Because in
And
business, that's
I think that's key to like allowing them to make mistakes, but then embrace them when they come. Because a lot of times I see kids where their parents are so hard on them, that the kids just feel sorry. They just feel like they can't do anything right.
Mhm.
So like even my girls, like my middle daughter, she just feels so bad when she makes some mistakes. And I'm like, look, we all make mistakes. Mommy makes mistakes. Daddy makes mistakes. We're going to make mistakes, but the key is just to try to learn and be better. She's like, okay, I'm gonna be better. So then she wipe her tears and she go about her business. So it's like it's key to actually parent in those moments and not just necessarily like you need to do this, you need to do that, or whatever. And it just makes them feel like they have no confidence in themselves. So I definitely agree with you. Like I feel like I'm hard on my kids, but at a certain extent, allowing them to be kids and make mistakes. Like my youngest guy, she is the risk taker.
Mm.
She learned like she do whatever, like she gets hurt or whatever. And it's just like that's gonna be amazing when she gets older, being able
Right.
to go after what she wants. Like when she wants something, she goes after it. And I'm like, man, like I have to, Jermaine and I, we have to instill that, like to guide her in that, like, yes, it's good to take risks, or whatever the case may be. But I think she's gonna be like all my kids are gonna be amazing, but I feel like she's gonna be the big risk taker.
Right.
So just being able to guide her in that and not just fall flat on her face.
How you doing balancing being a mom and being a business owner and kind of being present for the family? Like, what do you find you had to do? Because I'll start it by telling you, like, I've slipped up a lot in this regard, and especially when things like in the early stages, like the business needs me, it needs time, especially when
Mhm.
you don't have the funding and stuff like that. Like, I tell people, when you're starting a business, you're going to become the currency.
Yeah.
You are. It's going to be you 100%. You got to do the posting. You're not going to have the budget to bring on staff,
Mhm.
especially in the businesses you and I are in. It's tough. Like, I've taken the strategy of talking myself out of business to an extent because I have such a passion for watching other people grow. And I
Mhm.
told them, look, you might not have the budget to hire me to do your video, but you got a great, smartphone with a great camera. There's things you could be doing on your own. And I can help you with
Yes.
that and tell you how to shoot it and what you need to be shooting. And then when
Mhm.
you have the budget, come talk to me. Um, but I say all that to say, in the beginning, it's going to require a lot of your time. It's going to require loss of sleep and time away from the family. And recently, me personally, I've been more intentional with just kind of keeping a tighter schedule and
Mhm.
giving myself deadlines. And I've had to just not shut off the phone, but ignore the phone at a certain time. Like, I was answering customer inquiries and stuff like at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night,
Oh
because I felt
no.
like I got to be super fast. I got to be fast. I want them to see that, there's always somebody here. And I'm like, I stopped. I stopped. Like 5, 6 o'clock is like the extended cutoff where I'm like, nah, I'll deal with you in the morning. I'll deal with you in the morning. I'm not gonna have business, done in all hours of the night. I only get to see my kids a couple hours a day if I think about it. Because by the
Mhm.
time you get home and the time they go to sleep, my youngest goes to sleep at like 8:30. I got home at 6. I gotta eat. I gotta get changed. I gotta shower up. What I have
Mhm.
an hour with my kid every day.
Yeah.
So
And
how
just
have you been
to
managing it?
Yeah, for sure. And to answer your question, like I think it's just boundaries, time management, that helps me, with just business, with my family, even like me time. I have to incorporate that as well. Just which is it's just about me, where I'm just sitting in the house, not doing anything, watching TV or going out with my friends. So just being able to, I think it's so I would just definitely say boundaries, time management, and even just being able to like you said, like actually had to I have a personal phone, then I have a business phone.
Okay.
And I did that for my mental, like 5 o'clock, I put on do not disturb. I put it in my room. I don't look at it until the next day. So that
Mm,
helps me. And I let my clients know, like, look, these are my hours. You can text me, you can email me, whatever the case may be, but I'm not going to get to it until the next day. So
right.
just being able to I work from 9 to 5. That's it. I treat it as a 9 to 5. And I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurs mess up is they feel like they have to grind, they have to work, 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 and then they missing their families, they're missing their me time. And I had to I learned the hard way, of course. But just I always learned like, okay, look, this is what I need to do. I need to get a separate phone. All right, I work from 9 to 5. That's it. I schedule, like I use Asana Taskmaster
Mm,
Manager to help me in my tasks with my business.
right.
And that helps me like this day, I'm going to do this, whatever the case may be. I have it where I don't work on weekends. I definitely don't work on Sundays. Like you
Mm,
have to have those instilled and have those boundaries because there will be customers that would try to, mess up those boundaries. And it's not
right.
like they're trying to do it intentionally. It's just as like maybe on the weekends they have free time, they got to hit you up or whatever the case may be. But it's just you definitely gotta have those boundaries and being able to say, all right, this is family night, this is date night. This is, so you have to plan. Like being an entrepreneur, you have to plan. You just can't just let it be and let your family fall by the wayside because at the end of the day, they are your family. They're supposed
Mhm.
to come first. But I'm still gonna provide with my business, but you are first, you are priority. So I like that. I like the fact that I'm actually in an office now because when I leave the office, it's no more work. Um, I'm just concentrating on them and their schoolwork and, playing with them, watching TV with them. And that helps me and it helps them to see that, okay, I can be an entrepreneur, but I can also have time with my family. Like it's
Mhm.
more than just me. Like your kids are mimicking you. They're going to mimic you when they get older. So those are the things that I recommend that's helped me tremendously in that. Like I didn't start out that way, but I had to learn the hard way and then just positioning myself with other women entrepreneurs, just learning from them what they say. Like, oh man, I need to adapt that. I need to adapt this. So that definitely, helps. And like you said, like it's a learning process.
Mhm.
You're gonna keep learning every day, every year. You're gonna make things better. So yeah.
So what's next for you now that you got the office? What's the kind of like the plan?
Um, it's levels to this. Like
Yeah,
somebody,
yeah,
what is
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Saga. He said it's
yeah,
levels to this.
yeah,
Yeah, I watch battle rap too. So
yeah,
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 Jermaine got me on that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like right now, I just want to be able to do more in-person stuff.
Okay.
Being able to do stuff for the community, having workshops for youth. So that's really what's next here for like me being in the office. And then eventually I would love to have my own building,
Okay.
something like Bloom Co-working, where other entrepreneurs can come rent out a space. But I
Yeah.
want it to be different than other ones. Like I want to have networking events and things of that nature, but I wanted to just make it different, like the vibe different, maybe have like poetry night. Like I want to just do something
Mm-hmm.
out of the wall that no one is doing in the 757.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have so many goals like that I want to do just in creative big in itself, and then being able to do like my nonprofit, and then also like my oldest want to do a vending machine business. Like it's just a
Huh.
lot of stuff that we just want to do. But we're just trying to figure out when it's the right time. We want to do everything all at once. We want to do everything in
Yeah.
God's timing.
Yeah. Now that's always been a thing for me. It's like I want to get to the point where the business allows me some time to step away. Like right now
Yeah.
it's me, on deck all the time. Um but one thing I learned with Blair and Black Brand was the fact that how important it is to be a business that can employ others. There was one thing that kind of woke me up to something, and it was they mentioned that investors are never looking at investing in a business that don't have employees. It's like you can't scale a business without employees.
Yep.
And that to me was like a light bulb moment, because it's like it makes perfect sense. It's like right in front of me, but especially starting out, it's like, nah, this is mine. This is mine. I don't want nobody else around it. Like, well,
Mhm.
what if they take clients? What if they
Yeah.
go? I'm like, this stuff doesn't matter. It's one thing I learned too. Is like there's plenty. There's way more than enough for everybody to eat out here. There's way more
Mhm.
than enough. There is no, oh no, they're gonna take my clients. You go find other ones. It's better fits. I've learned that too. It's like this particular client might not be the best fit for you. That's
Yeah.
it. It's not that you need to be working with every single person. It's just there's better fits. There's different skill sets. There's different approaches. Um, it's like the way you design a website might be better for this particular business, and the way somebody else does might be better.
Mhm.
It's not a knock on your business. It's just it's almost like I take that from the music background too. It's like you want certain artists for certain projects. It's not that this one is bad. It's just this one has a certain feel I'm
Yeah.
looking for, so I'm gonna go for this guy for this
And
particular project.
Yeah, and I think it's just a mindset that you have, like, not necessarily people going to take my clients, but just take it like when you hire somebody, they're going to relieve stress from me. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
help me. They're going to help me get more funding. So I think just having a different mindset in itself, it helps as well. Like me, I'm trying to get an assistant now, or even where it was at a point where I couldn't, I would literally like just contract somebody out. So it's like a person that's he helps me with some of he does like logos. So I'm
Okay.
contracting him out. Like I have funding, so I have a budget where you're going to help me. So it helps relieve stress for me.
Mm-hmm.
And we just work well together. So I think at the end of the day, like it is where I just want to make things easier for you. Like I'm the like a perfectionist, and like I want to do things on my own or whatever. What I'm learning, like you have to have a team. You have a team to help you. Because at the end of the day, I would love to just be the CEO of Creative Bait and just have people working for me, and I don't even have to come in. That's just like another stream of income, and I can just go on and do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just the mindset in itself. It just as for entrepreneur, it is very vital to have a different mindset than other people. You have to be around people that has the same mindset as you, that's higher than you. That elevated me within the past year. Because you can't always be around people that's always complaining, always just like I mean, we can be friends, but at a distance. Like I had to change my circle. And when I did that, I started to dream better. I started to get my finances in order for funding. Like everything changed when my circle changed. And I think a lot of people don't want to do that. No, this been my girl, this has been my boy since day one. I'm like, that's cool, but are they helping you? Are they elevating you? So being able to be around like-minded entrepreneurs, that has been so key for me. Like one of the things where I can say that they helped me in my success because they help me in my mindset. They help me in my dreaming, my faith, like everything. So it's so many, like I could give you like 10 things that, the entrepreneur needs to do in order to be successful. And it's more than just having money. Like it's so many things.
Right. That reminds me, that's a Jay-Z bar. People look at you strange and say you changed, like you worked that hard to stay the same. It's like for real. Like I always smile at that because I learned that in business too. It's like when you start out, before you actually have the business, part of it is like the romantic side of it is like, man, how cool would it be to work with all my friends? Yep. It's like, but you never really worked with your friends. You never had your friends kind of affect the money that comes into your house. And especially as an adult, you never had your friends affect the money that goes into your kids for their clothes and their food and stuff. And that starts to stress the relationship when it's like, yo, you gonna pull this hard or what? Like what are we doing? Or are we gonna show up on time or are we not gonna show up on time? Yeah. What's happening? Because this is all fun, but if I told a client it's 9 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock. If I told them we're staying till this time, that's how late we're staying. We can't be looking at phones. That's the thing too. It's like you got some friends do they have the same dream as you? Is the passion lining up? It's really learning what is your goal, moments of honesty, self-reflection for everybody involved. And it's like, I don't want people around me. It's funny. I this year I've been more intentional with bringing my wife into the business because I've never just assumed that because she's my wife, she's going to be next to me in the business. I've never assumed that. Yeah. I told her, I said, I don't want you to take it as I don't want you around. It's not that I've never approached you about the subject because I just don't want you here. It's that I don't ever want anybody to lock arms with me because they feel like there's a loyalty aspect or this is what I should do. Yeah. I want people that's passionate about this. Do you have an interest in content creation? Do you have an interest in marketing? Then let's go. Let's do this. Do you want to grow a business? But just because Tony's my friend or, that's my husband, I got to hold him down. It's like, I appreciate it. But this path I'm walking on now, I need people that's on the same exact goal and it's going to push through the same exact things.
For sure.
But it's been great talking to you. I don't want this to be the last time. We got to connect face to face. So I got to check you out. Are you in Portsmouth or because they have one in Virginia Beach as well, I think. Bloom.
I think they just have one in Portsmouth.
Oh, okay, so you're in Portsmouth.
Gather. They have one in Norfolk.
Oh, it's Gather. I got yeah. Okay,
I started to go with them, but they're a lot more busy.
Okay.
And this is more quieter here. So yeah.
Yeah, no, we shot there a few times actually. We did some content there for other people. We shoot for the city of Portsmouth, a lot of their videos. We're doing their State of the City video this year, so I'm probably gonna cross paths with you real soon.
That's dope.
But I appreciate you. It's been great. It's been a blessing, and I hope you and your business keep growing.
Thanks, appreciate it. Same to you.